right. All right, you guys, we are live in the building. Okay, so welcome to Unmute Yourself, you guys. Listen, I am your host, Darielle. I got my sister, my co-host, London Bridges, but she is not falling down. Okay, and as you can see, I got my sisters from all shades, baby. Okay, all shades, and we are going to be discussing colorism. Okay, colorism. So y'all make sure that you guys like and share this video. Sharice, I'm Mahogany, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think about that Danny Lee song?
Okay, so I'm gonna keep it a buck, keep it 100. I never heard the song. I only read the controversy that was stirred around the fact that Danny Lee decided to do a song celebrating her yellow skin tone, right? And didn't necessarily see a problem with it because of all of the songs that celebrate darker women or darker skin tone. So I mean, it's definitely controversial because for me, I feel like I understand a lot of my friends who are lighter complected and feel as if they kind of have to muscle their way into having or feeling like they deserve to have a black card, right? So I'm like, okay, well, you want to, celebrate who you are and you want to celebrate the color of your skin and it happens to be yellow. That's who you are. Do your thing. Like, I'm brown and I definitely have many a song that discusses the fact that I'm brown and I like that I'm brown, right? And I have songs that speak to the fact that it's like, okay, regardless, black is black, right? Just to keep it like real old school, black is black and and we're beautiful and that's that. As far as the content and the genre and all of that, I'm not gonna get into all of that. Everybody got their lane and what they do. But her celebrating her skin tone, I do kind of feel like she should have some room to do that, or there should be room to do that. Now, I don't know if she was degrading being darker skinned, but I don't know. It's hard. That's like if it's like Black Lives Matter and then Blue Lives Matter. It's kind of like, okay, we saying Black Lives Matter because people act like Black lives don't matter. There's songs about being brown skin and being dark skin because of all the years in which darker skin has been put down. So it's like, okay, for you to come out and do a song on some like, oh, well, white lives matter too. So it's the middle ground. I'm in the middle, to be honest.
No, it's okay. Kayla, what's your thoughts? Did you hear the song?
Oh, I heard it one good time, and I'm trying to avoid it since then. I like music, and that thing hurt me. But yeah, so for me, I think it's always important to kind of think about the fact that you don't want to compare. It's the same as if, a white person is being called out for some racist or prejudiced thing that they do. And then they go, well, black people can be racist too. It's not comparable because the intention and the history is different. So if a dark chocolate tone woman is celebrating her skin, that's a whole different intention. That's a different history than somebody that might look like me talking about being yellow bone. The whole conversation has to be different because the history is different. And I did hear that song, and like, I don't know, Danny Lee Lay, however you say her name, there was conversation that maybe that song was targeted at a chocolate woman, the mother of his children. And if that's the case, it was absolutely malicious. It was not meant to celebrate her skin. It was meant to harm somebody who was darker than her. So that in and of itself is enough. But even if that weren't the case, if that weren't true, the history and the intention has to be considered. it can't be the same conversation or the same lane for somebody that looks like me that it would be for somebody else.
No, I great point. Janine, sis, I know, sis, what's your thoughts?
Well, I was just put on this. I was just put on this song like what 20 minutes ago. So yeah, it's not a hit for me because we have come so far. This whole light skin, dark skin drama and hatred towards one another. We have built so much just to have this song come out and to heat up like old conversation. Just no, we're not out here doing this, not doing COVID, not doing COVID. We're not doing this. And I felt like Dom didn't get the memo. Like she didn't get it. And it's not her fault, maybe she was shopping at Prada, maybe. But we have to inform her that Oprah Winfrey is, building the bridges. We have Miss Barack Obama, Michelle Obama out here building bridges. We have great women of color that's speaking out on these topics, that's actually bringing sisters together and creating sisterhood, okay? We got UnmuteYourself Queens doing a whole production, and Dom didn't get the memo.
She didn't.
And I feel like we just got to tell her about herself. Not herself. Well, maybe a little bit about herself, but we just got to tell her we're not doing this during COVID. We're not. Not ever. Not ever.
Wait,
not ever.
Can I play Angel Advocate and just ask a question?
Yes.
So, who's the first sis that spoke right after me?
Kayla.
So Kayla, where is there room for you to be able, guilt-free, to celebrate your skin tone? You know what I mean? Like when I just and I didn't hear the song, so let me say that I need to. I'm taking context. But like Wu-Tang, Wu-Tang did that song, and Wu-Tang did the song and shouted out all the queens. You know what I'm saying? Karma. Right. I'm so old school, but it was everything. So it's like
that's it. That's history.
You get the opportunity to celebrate your skin tone, be black, but a different shade.
Let me play the song for y'all. For my audience.
You get the context, because you need.
I'm gonna play the song for y'all.
Yellow bonus, what he wants, what he wants. Yellow bonus, what he wants, what he wants, what he wants. Para Miguel se lo van, para Miguel what I want.
Chastity says, what's your thoughts about it? Well, I'm gonna come back to you, Mahogany and Kayla.
Right.
What's your thoughts about it, sis?
Gotta go on Genius.
Like I first said, she's really just truly celebrating, her skin tone and being confident within herself, being a yellow bone, then it's cool. But if she taking a shot at darker skinned women or other tone women, then now we got a problem.
No.
Like I'm all for everybody, celebrating who they are, being comfortable in the skin that they live with every day. But you ain't got to degrade me or downplay me to boost yourself up. We can all coexist together.
Exactly. That part. That part. T says me and you had our conversations, but what's your thoughts?
Who's that?
T, Tan. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
So I can understand celebrating your skin, but at the same time, I think we just need to move out of the way for the darker hued beauties, because light skin sisters, we always get propped up. So I'm like, we need to make room for the darker hued sisters to get their shine, so it can stop even being about who is lighter, who is darker. And then the song is just trash. It's like we're constantly stirring up the pot of that old system from slavery. The lighter girls the lighter skinned people were in the master's house. The darker skinned people were in the field. So that ingrained prejudice that we have, it just like we constantly ripping that old wound when we had the light-skinned girls propping themselves up as trophies and then taking shots at the darker skinned girls. And Danny Lee's her song was a shot at a darker skinned girl. I'm just gonna put that out there. I saw a couple of blogs about it. She was taking a shot and was feeling herself because her and the baby mama, the darker skinned woman of whom they both dating the same dude or whatever. They having like, it's like a tug of war with this dude. So there's some history behind this little trash song. But at the same time, I feel like we're constantly ripping open, exposing this wound, and nobody really is addressing it. So yeah, we can celebrate our different views, but we need to address that this inner racism is killing us. It's literally killing us.
No, that's good. Yeah. I'm gonna start with you. Sis, what was your thought? And then Mahogany, since you heard Queen,
look at her face.
Yeah. What's your thoughts about the song, sis?
Well, I had a warning before I listened to it that it might burn my ears, and that it did. It was bad. I might be light skinned of all light skins, but I even I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the madness. It's 2021. I know we all saying that, but it's time to grow up. It's time to quit going against each other, especially like we all one team. And at this point, I'm tired of being separate.
Yeah,
because I don't.
Come on, man.
I don't know, and so yeah, I'm tired of it. It was like turn on, turn it off, because like throw it in the trash, please.
No, it need to be
trash begets trash.
Need to impeach. Mahogany. Since you heard us, this what's your thought?
So yeah, first of all, it's basura. It is trash in every language.
In Danny Lee language.
In every language. I don't know what's going on with the song. The song is terrible, good and terrible. It's horrible. And the tone is, yes, it's definitely some undertone or some shots being shot. And that is disgusting. And I think to use skin tone, to use anything else. Use the fact that you're the badder woman. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna be petty, and that's where we're going with it, and you're gonna make a song being petty about how he chose you, use any of your other attributes. But yeah, don't use colorism and then play innocent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna poke the bear and then act like, oh, what did I do? I'm just celebrating being light skinned. No, you're not. You're being a disgusting human being. Like, you are opening wounds that don't need to be opened. That is not cool. And that's not cool to do that to the mother of someone's child, just as another woman. Like, be a grown woman. Like, as a Black woman, you know what I mean? This is the mother of someone's child, and I think just overall, the deeper issue that needs to be addressed, aside from the divisiveness that comes to race and colorism that we deal with ourselves, is just what happens with women. He shouldn't even, what? You making a song about yellow bonus? What? You shouldn't even have the opportunity to be like, oh, I want you. Like, we just got deeper issues that we're dealing with as Black women, So just
I think me and London and Janine, we can all agree that it all of us it's just a terrible song. It needs to be delivered. Matter of fact, just throw it out. I don't think you was going to either. But London, since for you to start with Kayla says for our next question, so that we can actually get into that root, Mahogany, what you was talking about. But London, you can start off with our next question.
Listen, sis, I met you at a church where I was having some difficulty understanding, some of the dichotomies between being a Christian and skin tone and ideology and colorism and all of that. Tell me a little bit about how you feel about this question, right? Has anyone ever tried to make you feel particularly unvalued because of your skin color, being a light-skinned woman that you are?
And are you meaning like other Black people? Is that what you mean?
It could be in any context, but that would be helpful. But in any context.
Okay, speaking specifically to other Black people, absolutely. I mean, since I can remember, I've been getting that comment of, "Oh, you're really Black," or that. My background professionally is civil rights. I worked with NAACP and community organizing and all that. And it was always a comment of, I mean, within the organization, people would say stuff to me like, "Oh, you're a Trump spy," or something like that. Like, because I'm truly, or you're the whitest thing in the NAACP. It's always some comment about me overcompensating in the eyes of other Black people because I'm light. It's not ever just that I care because I am Black too. Because in my eyes, if I stop by a police officer, he will have no problem distinguishing me as a Black woman. I'm gonna be Black when I'm in front of people who see that. So it's always wild to me that the only people that often have question about my Blackness are other Black people, because it would never be a question at any other moment in history or in front of any other kind of person of whether or not I'm Black. But I get that all the time. And I've told this story before, and I know this is a whole other country, but a couple of years ago, I took a trip to Uganda. That's Africa. That's motherland, right? Like,
come on, motherland.
All of this. And they literally called me Masugu. And I was like, what does that mean? That's their word for ghost. It's what they call white people. I'm not
Wow.
They called me the same thing that they called the white people that I was on that trip with. It don't matter if I'm there or if I'm here. It's always a question of my Blackness. Literally, just because I'm light. I mean, it's crazy. Just because I'm light, I'm like, I'm not even mixed. Like, not that to me, that shouldn't necessarily be a question either. I know that's a whole other conversation.
Right. Yes.
But that's a whole other conversation. But you can't even like pull from that as a reason why you're questioning me. That's wild. Right.
That tells me that the issue starts with us. That's what that says. And we all have a plight. Every single one of us has a plight within our community. Back to you, Bob. I'm just there we go.
Mommy, oh my bad. Mahogany. What's your thoughts? Have you?
I'm still marinating off of Magoo, whatever she said.
Has anyone tried to make you feel unvalued because of your skin color?
It wasn't until I was good and grown, because I would always get questions like, "Oh, well, did you ever wish that you were lighter?" And I never wished that I was lighter skinned, right? But I realized that as an adult, that there were certain things and certain ways that I carried myself because I breathed in the fact that my skin tone left a certain impression and left me feeling inferior. So I would, because I'm taller and I'm darker, I know that my appearance is threatening. So I've spent the majority of my life being extra nice, being extra kind, letting people know that I am not a threat, right? So that's one aspect, right? It's just being like, no, I'm inviting, I'm kind, like I'm not. So to speak against like, oh, if you're dark, then you're angry, then you're aggressive, right? So that's one. I think I've always fought or tried to make room to let people know that, oh, I'm intelligent, because, clearly if you're Black, you're not supposed to be well-spoken. You're not intelligent. So like all of society's stereotypes, when you are darker complected, you breathe them, you live them, you figure out ways to live life around your very being. Your everything around you tells you that who you are is wrong. So you spend a lifetime figuring out ways to make corrections.
That's powerful. Janine, what about you, sis? Has anyone ever tried to make you feel undervalued because of your skin color?
I wish they would. I wish I would. Child, yes, girl. I came out my mama womb and these people trying to bring me down. Like, ooh. But no, it's really when I got into the American system. Not in my culture. In my culture, I'm radiant. I'm a queen. Like it takes good proper mixing to get a color like this, honey.
Come through now.
Listen, okay, I'm like that imported chocolate.
Yeah.
But in America, my God, in America, I'm like, listen, I'm like, why y'all taking all these shots at me? It's not my fault y'all like this. Like it was hard. It was really hard. And I agree. I agree with my sister. I feel like the older I get, I'm not gonna say it gets harder, but it's just like I have to like smile more. Like, hey, listen, I'm not out, I'm nice, and I have to always do these little extra stuff just because of my complexion, just because, again, same like you, sis, I'm tall and a little big now. So I listen, threat, all right. And the little accent that I have don't help me either. So triple threat. So it becomes an issue, but nothing that I cannot handle. And I feel like we have Black women. I don't care the color of your skin. I don't care if you're light, red bone, yellow bone, green bone. It don't matter. Black women, we have grew this skin. All right. Even if it's against like each other, we still have the skin for it. If it's against the world, we still have the skin for it. And like I said, it's nothing that I cannot handle. So yes, I have seen it. Again, what you gonna do? I remember in elementary, I did karate. There was this little karate program, y'all. I was good. Listen. And these kids started calling me Blackie Chan. And I was so mad. Like every time they did it, I just wanted to karate chop somebody up. Like, what's wrong with y'all? And when I got to high school, I started skateboarding, and it was like, you do know you Black,
right?
And and it was just like, you do know I'm Black, right? It's like, but being Black means you are multi-talented. I feel that's what it means. I feel like as a Black woman, as a Black woman, as a Black child, a Black sister, whatever, I can do whatever I want and still make it look legit. And it's like, and that's the part that society, the world that we live in, they don't want to see. And they will try to break it down, and they will try to hurt you. And even against each other, we'll try to hurt each other instead of saying, hey sis, help me get that confidence you have. Instead of, oh, you think you something. You get what I'm saying? So yes, girl, I seen it, but they can't stop me now, okay? It's listen, I made it this far. I might as well continue to be great.
What, Janine, you speak with, and I love it. What culture you from? What's your background?
Listen, I travel so much, I pick up on everything. So my background is the world. No, but my parents, my mom is Haitian. My dad is Haitian.
All right.
And my whole family is mixed. How can I put that?
All of us
so
are really mixed.
we will have to go like deep into it, but yeah. So like I said, we're triple the threat. Being Haitian, we have I guess we have this pride. And being Afro-Haitian, we have this other pride in us. And it's like we stand up, it's the way we walk, like sac passe. It's what it is. It's a whole flavor within itself. And it's like, yeah, that's a problem too, sis. So yeah. But that's a whole
Yeah.
topic for another day.
The reason why I asked that is because I'm just going to say something really quick. Is I saw some people. I met some of these women from Africa a couple of years ago, and I was within such that pride and that confidence was like engulfing around me that I didn't even know what to do with it in a beautiful way. It was overwhelming in a loving way. And I was just like, Lord, what is it about other African cultures, other cultures that derive from us, right? Everybody except Black Americans understand the power, understand the pride, understand the confidence and the love that we have for ourselves other than us.
That's why
It's mind-boggling.
that's why I was gonna get out with my sis, Kayla, when she talked about Uganda. Like, I have a good friend of mine. We've been friends for years. She's from Uganda. And like I said, my family were like super mixed. You know, we married into different cultures, and you know, even like with the family group chat that we have, it's like hello from Denver, hello from Miami, hello from it. So we like everywhere, and we're so mixed into the earth, into the soil, and it's like we have different cultures and different backgrounds. And there are stuff that you'll come to my home and you see me do, you're like, wait, but you Haitian though? I'm like, yeah, but why you doing that? It's my culture. How? I don't know. But when I heard my sis was like, you know, how they treated her in Uganda, I was like, really, Uganda though? Like, I got my little adopted baby from there, because you know everybody got a little baby from one of these countries. I don't know for y'all, but I got one from there. You know, we doing fine. But I was like, wait, what? I felt like, you know, as for the country, I had to apologize, because this is not like us, honey. We are not like that. And I'm sorry you had to experience that. And in that sense, you know, only Kayla had like that negative experience. So I'm sorry, but like you were saying, sis, like the African culture gets it. Yes. Not even then, Brazilians, they get it. The sisters in Brazil, believe me, they get it. Brazilian period, they get it. You know, they're like one of Hispanics. They're not going, you know, black and white. You know, stop a Cuban and say you black. They'll say, no, mommy, I'm Cuban. No, you're black. No, mommy, I'm Cuban. Like, they get it, except for Americans. And I feel like it's something that's been placed in us for such a long time. In order for us to really stop it, one, we got to go deep into prayer, because that's self-hatred, and we got to start really healing from within. Okay?
Yeah.
You don't hate my color. You don't hate my color. You don't hate me. You hate yourself. Let's figure out why. You know? Let's figure out why first. Second, we really have to have these conversations more often. Not just like Black History Month. Like, me and my sis, we talk about these topics every day. Like, you guys are seeing it live, but this is our regular conversation. You get what I'm saying? Like, every single day, Daria, you already know, London, we talking about these subjects. We talking about these hot topics. Like, but we just now happen to be going live with them, so we could share with you. So how you do this, you have these conversations. Believe it or not, you're gonna have a light-skinned friend that feel like, oh, I feel like my sis said, I think it's time to let the dark-skinned sister win. No, honey, we've been winning for years. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. We all could be in the same table. And believe it or not, I have friends that feels like that. I had one friend that one day she told me, I would never forget, y'all. We were going to this poetry slam. She said, can you change? I said, what? I said, what I got on is not good. And she said, no, what you got on is always good, but can you just change? Like, you always gotta pop. I said, girl, I'm black. I wear yellow, I pop. I wear blue, I pop. I wear white, I pop. And when I'm dead, I'm a pop. It's just, I be popping. Like, can we talk about this? Like, what's up with that? And she was like, I always wanted to say that. Like, I feel like, I said, baby, it's not me that's popping. It's not my color. It's this spirit. It just pops. Like, I can't do nothing about it. But we had that conversation. You get what I'm saying? And I said, I don't want you to feel like you gotta dim your light. Nah, let it shine. There's different type of light. There's different type of lights. There's different type of power lights. You know, you want your home to be blue, go to Walmart, get you some blue lights. You want it to be pink, get you some pink lights. These LED lights, yo, they popping. There's different type of light. And all lights, what they do, they light up darkness. That's all. So I feel like America, yes, London, they don't get it. And I feel like when they try to get it, like my sis, they're like, okay, I'm gonna let you win. Nah, we all can pop off together. Like we all, like when I'm around my cousin, I have this beautiful cousin, man, and I'm telling you, she is gorgeous. Taki, she's this beautiful, light skinned, beautiful woman. When I'm around her, I don't feel less beautiful. When I'm around my other cousins, I feel when I'm with them, I'm like, look, okay, look at what
family.
Hey, look, okay, this how we rolling. Why? Because again, love, I try as much to put love in my heart and to remove negativity as much as it can.
Right.
If I'm gonna hate on you, I'm gonna hate on your personality, not your color.
Yeah.
Good, sis. I know Mahogany, you have to go in chat. I want you to go, sis, after Mahogany, because I know she has to leave. But yeah, sis, you wanted to say something before you go?
So just really briefly, and thank you so much. I'm so mad I gotta go. Like y'all don't know because it's so good. But the way in which the like blacks from the diaspora carry themselves, especially from the Caribbean, with a certain level of like elitism or understanding the power that they have, is because they were colonized different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Being American, Black American, really came with, you know, we really had a caste system where, and not to say that like other blacks were not colonized, but it's like, okay, looking at Haiti, it's like, okay, we found liberation, we took our liberation, we weren't going to be like held down, we were like, no, like we're bucking back, you know what I'm saying? So to look at those and the pride that comes with, no, we're self-ran, we're self-governed, whereas Black Americans, our skin tone comes with oppression, period. You know what I mean? And in Africa too, I think a lot of times colorism runs deep in different African countries because the same thing, the level of oppression and colonization was so heavy, was so strong that a lot of Africans, some experience self-love in certain countries, but in certain countries where lighter skin is really praised or you get certain privileges, it's a lot of skin bleaching happening, and colorism is deadly, it's detrimental. So I don't know, that's just like my view on why it's like that.
No, oh Lord, my phone done dropped, Jesus. Chat, sissy,
Wait, sis, Mahogany, you said you're not sure why it's like that.
And I think that's why it is because they walk. I mean, I feel like people from Caribbean cultures have a certain level of autonomy that blacks didn't have the opportunity, or American blacks, that it took us a long time to get to. Whereas like, oh no, we're taking our freedom and we're running and we're governing ourselves.
Okay.
So we may be struggling, but we running it out here. There ain't nobody telling us what.
And I also feel it's a lack of to add on to what you're saying, which is true, but it's also a lack of knowing oneself. I know like people are shocked that I can like jot down my family tree on my mom's side, and I could do it on my dad's side, and I could say this is the part of Africa they came from, and this is the language they speak, this is the language this person, you get what I'm saying? And it's very key, because when people look at me, like I remember I had this conversation with, just like, what? So for real, so y'all like mixed, like for like D was like whoa, like where y'all from? D's like, I don't know, Georgia. And it's like, these conversation is important, because in order to change the future, you have to know where you come from, you have to know your past. And I feel like a lot of Americans didn't get that chance to know who they are and whose they are. So I feel like that's important.
I hope y'all enjoy Mahogany, y'all, because she had to leave, but I know that won't be her first time being a guest. Chat says, what's your thoughts, boo? What's your thoughts about has anyone tried to make you feel undervalued because of your skin tone? Do you have any experiences? How did that make you feel?
Like for me, no, I haven't really had that growing up. If anything, growing up for me, they were more so like just praising me because of my skin tone. Like that's what I always got growing up. So I was never put in a situation where, oh, you dark, you can't do this, or what. Like I've just experienced the, what comes with being black. I've experienced that, but being dark skinned, I haven't really had that within the black community. Like I haven't had that at all.
Oh, really? Yeah, some people don't got that. Everybody don't got that. Everybody don't got
That's
that.
why you said, "Oh, really?" Like that. Oh, really?
No,
I mean,
Yeah, but it depends on where you from too. Sometimes it's regional as well. Like me and Kayla in North Carolina, y'all in Miami. Where are you, Tanzania? Where are you?
Chicago.
Chicago. Chat, where you at?
I'm from Memphis, but I'm in Hendersonville. So like in
Hendersonville
Memphis,
of Tennessee?
yeah.
Oh wow.
So like in Memphis, everybody dark
regionally,
skin. So
right? Regional. See, that's completely different. And Yaya, where you at?
I'm in Tulsa, but I grew up in Kansas City, so
Oklahoma. But see, all of these different places regionally, I think affects the perception as well. But continue what you were saying, Chad. I didn't want to.
Oh no, I'm just saying, like for me, like, cause like I'm
You were
dark
celebrated.
skinned, right? Yeah. So it was like, oh, you just a beautiful chocolate girl, like da da da. And it's like I heard that all my life growing up.
Mm-hmm.
So to get older and to move somewhere else, and they be like, nah, you ain't dark skinned, you just brown. It's like, what?
Yeah.
So it's like, for back home where I'm from, I'm dark skinned, but it's a lot of dark people. All of us, like, to see somebody light skinned, red bone, yellow bone, that's like a thing, you know what I'm saying? Back home. Like we'll pick on them, well not we, but like they get picked on or whatever. Or whatever.
Not me.
Like you, like, whatever. But like majority of folks, we dark skinned. Like me and my cousin, like two of the darkest ones in our family, but it was always celebrated. Everybody be like, man, I wish I had your skin. You so beautiful, this and that. So yeah, my experience is like very different.
Yeah, it really is different. Tan, what about you, sis? Chicago.
So growing up, I didn't have that issue, but transitioning into a woman in my 20s, I encountered people in like authority figures, like where I worked, like the part-time jobs I had while I was in college, and the women who may have been a darker hue than me, I experienced some bullying. And it seemed like, and I could always tell that they were just taking their frustration out on me because I was lighter, because they didn't do it to the other people who were about the same complexion. So it was like always me. I'm always getting rolled up for something stupid. I'm always getting humiliated in front of everybody. But they never actually verbally said that it was because of my complexion. But you could just tell. And then with men, it's like, are you mixed? Let me straighten this hair. Put a little gloss in it. And it be shining a little bit. What you mixed with? I'm black. I got 4C hair. When this stuff get wet, it's 4C. So I would have to.
I love it.
I would have to I pride myself on having an African name because I was like, it's like the only thing I seem like I can fight with because my name is Tanzania. So I fight people with my name. Like, you're not about to tell me that I'm Asian. You're not about to tell me that I'm Black Filipino mixed with Filipino. You're not about to say nothing. You're not about to say I'm from any Asian. Yeah, I'm black. I don't know what part percentage I'm black, or if I got some African in me. I know I do have some African in me, but I want to do that the ancestry thing just to see what part of Africa in me. But I know I'm from the motherland, so I'm not gonna
go for it. Come on, sis.
I'm not gonna never let nobody make me feel like I'm of an upper echelon because I look mixed or what they call racially ambiguous. You're not about to do that to me. So yeah, I've had that constant trying to ingrain me that I'm mixed, or if I tell them like, no, I'm black, I'm 4C black, and they'll be like disappointed. The guys will be disappointed. So I've had that. So it's either been being bullied by authority figures who are darker than me, or and female authority figures, or just being the guys try to fetishize you because you look racially and I look racially racially ambiguous or being disappointed when they find out that I'm not mixed with nothing that they can readily pick up. So yeah. It's real out here in these streets.
I cannot wait for Saturday, bro. Like I can't. That ball that makes my skin boil. Y'all, please talk, sis. Has anybody? I know we talk a little bit, but you know, I would love for you to tell your story about that, like what we had talked about. If you don't mind, like, has anybody ever made you feel undervalued because of your skin tone?
I know I've had different phases in life. Growing from, elementary to middle school, it was more of I was undervalued, I feel like, by majority of the Black people that I was around because I felt like, because I was light skinned, and I don't think they did it in a way that they knew it would affect me years later, but being called a mutt, even in a joking manner, is not okay, even when I'm a kid. So, constantly dealing with that, or just even at school. But there's even certain things, like, I guess, experiences would have given me a certain perspective, like y'all said, dark skinned people have more of an attitude and stuff like that. And so, like, growing up in school, I personally dealt with that. I dealt with a lot of the dark skinned girls having more of an attitude or being more aggressive versus me. I was more of, kind of soft and loving. And so I didn't, after being around so many Black women in particular that was like that, I just felt like I didn't fit in with the Black people, or, so I think overall that made me feel undervalued. And then growing up into being an adult, I think I started feeling it more of what it's like being Black, the more we start dealing with the racial stuff. But yeah, I'd say it was just more in my childhood. I say, now that I think about it and talk about it more, that's mainly when I felt undervalued. For sure.
This is what is interesting to me, and you guys, please heart it up for my sisters, all these beautiful people on here. This is the thing that behooves me. How can, when we talking about light skin and dark skin, and what I'm praying that people hear is that what we think is better treatment is not always better treatment. For example, yes, the light skinned slaves were in the house, and the dark skinned slaves were more so on the field. And I feel like though that was a psychological thing that the slave owners really tried to implant in us to cause this situation, right? Because to be honest with you, it's not about neither one got treated better. Both were slaves. Both got raped. You feel me? So when you're speaking on that, or when we're speaking on that, I feel as though, and y'all gonna be hearing me say this the whole week, I feel as though once Black people stop viewing each other through white supremacy, that's when things will get better. Because we have downloaded this virus that is within us to start viewing one another as white, like through white supremacy. Why would you tell somebody that they are not Black enough? Now, do you want help or do you not? Because you get mad when you got some light skinned folks saying they ain't Black, and you know that they Black, and then everybody have an attitude about that. But then when they come in our communities, a lot of times their stories is, I'm not Black enough. So at some point, we got to look at ourselves and hold us accountable for the crap that we do, and go ahead, Kayla, please.
I was going to say, can I comment on that? I wholeheartedly agree. I think anything to do with colorism, at least for Black American culture, is absolutely through the lens of a white standard of Blackness. So how close are you to what is considered white? How close are you to what's considered Black? And same thing, like Mahogany said before she hopped off, talking white, or, Black girls are supposed to talk a certain way or have a certain level of education, or Yaya mentioned, like, She felt like she didn't fit in with Black people, like maybe because of anything. It could have been anything, how she dressed or what kind of music she preferred or something. I agree. It's always compared to a standard of, through a traditionally white lens, what's Black and what's white. And it's not ever through a lens of, I'm Black, so whatever I am is Black.
Right.
It's never a standard that we set. It's always seen through a very old school, very antiquated lens of white and Black according to white people.
Fast.
Yep.
And
Chat,
then can I add?
Yeah, go ahead, please. This is a conversation, y'all. This is a whole dialogue. Go ahead, Chad.
I also want to point out, like, too, because we keep talking about, like, the light-skinned slaves were in the house and the dark-skinned slaves were outside. Well, before they had light-skinned slaves, it was dark-skinned slaves inside, too.
Yep. Yep.
Them was the ones master fancy. That's how you think we got some of the light-skinned slaves. I'm not going to say all of them because there were some lighter-skinned people coming from Africa. But, I mean, think about it. How else did we get the light-skinned slaves? They were sleeping with us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then they got the light-skinned slaves. They ain't finna have their child out there in the field doing that type of stuff. They gonna bring their child in the house.
That's exactly where I was about to say something with that whole slavery thing. Y'all ladies, education is key.
Yes.
Especially with this whole racial color thing. Let me tell y'all something. There's like a whole little island out there called the Solomon Island. Guess what? They got people that look like me with blue hair, with blue eyes and blonde hair.
Yep.
They Black. Okay? And to let like you sis, I could see where people will say, you know, you look a little Asian, you know. I can see where they're going. But if you go in Africa, there are literally people that looks Asian. Asian people looks Black more than half of us in here. They have a lot of Black features. And if we honest about that, we gotta be real. Like, you Black, you and I'm sorry, I laugh a little bit because I remember I was having this conversation with one of my students. And I said, she was like, "Oh, Miss Early, you Black." I said, "You Black too." No, she was not Black. I don't know what she was. But I said, "You Black too." She said, "No, I'm not." I said, "Yes, you are. You got Black features." And then she said, "I do." I said, "Yes, you do. You got little high cheekbones, you got a little button nose, you Black too." And then she said, "Yeah, but at least I'm not Black like this." And I was like,
wow.
"You're not Black like at least I'm not Black like this." I said, "Like what?" Like me? But you know, we have to have this conversation. Yes. Like my sis said, of course they're not gonna have their child out there in the slaves in the fields and stuff like that. They want them closer to them. And it's like, is this lack of education that we have in our community, that's what, you know, brings down all this hatred and stuff like that. We have to really educate ourselves on what it is to be Black. A lot of us, we rolling like this, but we don't know the meaning of this.
Right.
We just yeah, I'm Black. What, you don't know what it means to be Black. The only thing you know about being Black is what you was taught, what was passed on to you. There's more to Black than I don't know, watermelon. There's more to Black than clothing. There's more to Black than hair. There's more to Black than anything, you know, that you could ever think of. But guess what? You have to educate yourself. You have to be willing to say, "Listen, I'm gonna study for myself for the sake of the future generation that is coming." You know, I'm so proud of the job that we're doing, but the job is not done yet. It's not done yet. It's more than being Black, than being light skinned, or you know, when I'm so glad, sis, you take pride of your African, you take pride of who you are, because other people. Sorry about that. A lot of people a lot of people, their idea when people say, "Oh my God, you are so pretty, you must be mixed," and they take pride of that. Like, yeah, I think I got a little, French in me. Yeah, I think my granddaddy was like French or something. Yeah, yeah, a lot of people take pride in that, a lot.
I get
Yeah,
offended.
and
I get
and
offended. Like I
and
I get offended because it seems like it seems like they'll determine how they'll treat me based on if I'm mixed with something else other than African. So
Right.
I don't play that. I don't play that. Like, oh, you find me preferable or more desirable or somebody that you want to be in your circle because I come off as somebody who is something other than African. So I don't play that. I don't play that at all.
No, it says dragon. Dragon in the name of the Lord, dragon. You got
In
anything
the
you
name of
want
the
to
Lord.
put in this conversation?
Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I kind of had the opposite experience. Like, I because of what I experienced in elementary and middle school, I went the opposite way because I'm black, white, and my dad is full blood Indian. So if I'm anything, I'm Indian, and that's what I was going for. I'm like, I don't fit in with the black people. Okay, I'm white and Indian, and I did that for years. I wasn't even claiming to be black.
Oh wow.
And I stopped hanging with black people. All I wanted was white friends, and I was listening to white people music. What my dad would consider white people music type of deal, which is pop, or I didn't really listen to country, but more like pop music, and that was just my vibe. And more and more as I became an adult, I stopped fitting in, which was okay for me because at this point I was able to make my own decisions and I didn't have to be around y'all. You feel what I'm saying? And that was the type of attitude I got until like my early 20s, and I got dreads. And not only did I have dreads, but I was dressing like a man. And so boom, I went from a whole white person mentally and to other people, the way they looked at me, to a whole black dude, to the cop, to everybody. And I'm like, hold up. Hold up. I'm cool. I'm cool peoples. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, I wasn't used to getting stereotyped. I wasn't used to being called a nigger. I wasn't used to getting pulled over for no reason. I'm like, I'm black, y'all. I'm black. I'm black. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I was black for the first time. And I was just like, since then I've been embracing me being black. And then even now I feel like I've, since the election, because I never voted, and a lot of people, especially in the black community, they be like, oh, all your ancestors died for you to have this right. And I'm like, that doesn't resonate with me. You feel what I'm saying? That doesn't have the same effect on me that it has on you. So guess what? I'm not voting. Well, it hits different this last time, and I did vote for the first time in my life. But I did it. If y'all hear noise, that's my dog. I did it with the I say with the mind frame of, yes, I want to make a difference, but I do have this right as a black person. I didn't realize that, even as a woman, there's just so much stuff that you run away from when you start grasping onto other identities that's not yours. So
now, y'all, let me, London, before you get with the question, Sissy Pooh, I want to put a pin just right here a quick second, because I didn't know it was going to get that good and deep. And that's what you call a good story, when you can laugh and cry at the same time. But I want to say this. I pray that whoever is watching, whoever catches this on the replay, that you understand this in our community. And so if you are a teacher, whether if you have your nieces, your nephews, what we have to do is start telling our children and even retrain ourselves to value everybody's skin tone within that community. Because then we get upset when one of us get killed by the cop, and then somebody cannot resonate with it because you never engaged them in the process to begin with. And so it take a traumatic experience like that, or a cop, like where we call it driving while black. experience for them to resonate with it. And so now they don't understand why voting is a right or why it's important, because you never made them feel included. And mad when they grow up and can't resonate with the situation. But London, you take it off, sis, because I don't want to go on my rant until next week. So if you took it off, London, you go. You gotta unmute yourself, sis.
My bad. You ready for the bonus question or for the next question on the list, sis?
No, another question says something that you can add like value to what we're talking about.
I really just want to know what you guys think about some practical things that we can do to kind of eliminate this theory. What can we do like in a practical way to help eliminate this thought pattern? Like if somebody says something like that to you, do you tend to educate or do you tend to dismiss? Do you tend to, be petty, or like how do you approach these things in a practical way, guys? I'm gonna start with you, Kay.
Okay, couple things in my mind. I know for me, because even till present day, I'll get comments like, you the whitest thing in the so-and-so, or something about you ain't really black. My first reaction is I'm triggered. My first reaction is I'm mad. And I'm trying to actively, because that's, just so y'all know, in case y'all ever do that, like that's never a joke. That hits. Okay. So I'm trying to train myself to think education first. Like, how can I make this an opportunity? Because they don't mean to harm me. You know what I'm saying? They think it's a part of culture almost to like question blackness in people that are lighter. So let me take this as an opportunity to be like, hey, I am you. You know what I'm saying? And I think the other piece is when it comes to when it comes to things, even like Yaya was bringing up, where a lot of things didn't resonate with her because she hadn't been connected to culture and community. And a lot of times it seems like our instinct is to attack first in those situations, to judge it first and criticize it first. And I think part of that is because we think we are very connected to culture and community, and we think this person doesn't get it. They're, coon. Like, I understand sometimes we throw that word around a lot, and I know sometimes it feels appropriate, right? But like, it's not always the case. It's not always what's happening. Sometimes a person needs to be engrafted. And so I think if we make it intentional inventory of how we are internalizing what we're seeing when we see things like that, when we see other Black people that maybe don't feel connected and respond as if they're not connected. How are we processing that? Are we processing that through a place of just judgment and othering them and making them so they're not, and I'm not going to name names because names can be triggering too, but let's just say a Black person is like, I don't get the whole point of Black Lives Matter. Yes, that's angering. That's triggering. I feel like you're not connected to the culture. I feel like you're not connected to the community. But do I want it to stay like that? Do I want to encourage you to continue looking on the outside and feeling like you are outside? Or do I want to educate you and make you know, you're me. I am you. You're a part of this as well. And if something were to happen to you, we would all be in the streets for you too, because you are us. We are you. Just taking inventory of how we're processing a moment and not making it worse and making that othering experience that they're having stick.
Yeah.
I thought that was
that's good. That was, yeah.
Can I get your
I gotta let y'all know.
Kayla Cox, everybody.
I gotta let y'all know I was that irritating person. I was that annoying person. Like, all lives matter. Like, I just don't get it. Like, I just
and I think just from hearing your story and how you came to the realization, like, oh, I'm Black. I feel like as much as Kayla, like as much as we want to be like, okay, let's educate this person real quick. you can what is the quote? You can bring the horse to the water, but you can't force them to drink. A lot of realization of you becoming is actually you becoming.
That's
People
true.
can tell you about who you're supposed to be, about your culture, your background. Becoming is for you. I did not think me learning French or me learning Creole or me learning Tree was important until Trump got into the White House, and I'm like, yo, we might be deported, and I might have to reside in America, you know. But it's like to someone it might be like, yo, this is silly. Why would you wait till a president get into the White House and you're like, oh, I should learn my native tongue right now? It because me becoming and me accepting this culture and me accepting this language just took that for it to happen. And I feel like you're right, Kayla. Yeah, there are some people, yeah, that they're aggravating. Yeah, all lives matter. Okay, when your becoming happen, let me know how you feel. Until then, we just have to wait. But the battle of no, this matter, that matter, it's gonna be it's gonna push them closer to the edge than to bring them in. I think we should just there's some people after just laying out the word, we just let them come to it naturally.
Tansy, chat, y'all got something to add to it?
Yeah, I agree on both instances, education and allowing things to happen naturally. I think the education probably can come once they come into that realization of who they are. Then it's like, okay, your heart is soft enough so you can receive what you're trying to say when you was hard. So I think that it goes hand in hand, allowing them, giving them that grace, that wiggle room to become and get them cataracts off their eyes, and then not be so not be as being on the receiving end of that. We gotta be open and willing enough to educate them and not be like, now you want to be on our
right.
Now you know you black, like all the time talking all that.
I dealt with friends like that. I dealt with friends because I hit up a few friends like, oh, Black Lives Matter, because I never said it before. And the first time I said it, my friends were just like, oh, and I'm just like, yo, they do. I understand what's going on. I understand what hasn't stopped happening. Like, because even in school, I didn't understand why we were still talking about slavery. I'm like, it's over. Get over it. And so when I'm still seeing it now that, like you said, like cataracts is off my eyes, I'm like, yo, this is deep. Like we're under attack type of deal, and it grieves it grieves me.
I'm happy you woke up, sis, to the other side. Chat, you got something to add to it?
So I missed the second half of the question because my Wi-Fi cut out. So
no, you good, sis. We just talking about some practical steps that we can do just as individuals. Maybe you're not a theologian, maybe you're not a teacher, maybe you're just sisters and brothers on the streets, right? What do we do when we encounter these moments, whether it's somebody offending or attacking us via colorism, or it's something that we see? You know, how can we practically help to eliminate this issue? And obviously this is going to be an issue probably till we die, but it's how can we contribute to the solution?
I think the first step is first acknowledging the problem, and then acknowledging that regardless of where you are, we both got the same, it's like we got similar stories, right? Whether you light skin, dark skin, in between, we all got a similar struggle. Like we all get either picked on or praised or whatever because of our skin tone. So somebody's always on the other end. Like for me, for example, when I was growing up, I was being praised for being dark skinned, and then the light skinned people was getting looked at like, well, what's wrong with you? Why you not darker than what you are?
Right.
So it's like the tables are always flipped for somebody else. So we have to recognize that at some point we all have the same experience with colorism. At some point. Absolutely. Like we all have to recognize that we all got the same story. It just get told from a different lens.
Yep. That's good.
Sir, that's what I'm talking about, Chad. That's how you wrap it all together, honey.
That was good.
That's the goal. Like, we have all experienced colorism. It's the same thing. So at the end of the day, Kayla, Tent, Yaya, everybody should not have to feel like how they feel, and then for Chat, Janine, and to feel how they feel. Like, it's no reason for that, especially if we want allies, we want people to fight or whatever. Let people fight in the way that they know how. And y'all, like I said, I really mean that, because Lord knows, Janine and London, they can really tell you when it comes to Black issues, Black community, I low key, I have low tolerance for Black people. I don't get it. I swear on everything, God is working on my patience, but I have low tolerance for Black people that don't get it. Because to me, I don't have the grace to educate you right now. Because I feel like something happened for you to get it. You feel me? And I, like, for example, my prayer is that Candace Owens wake up, but I don't feel like she will. You feel me? I that's my prayer. But
she need a laying hands on.
I feel like that about her. And I just and Chat, y'all can jump into because this is a flow free let's come, because this was not even on the program. But Candace Owens, she irritates my soul in so many areas in life. And I'm just like, bruh, for that, to me, and I understand that, you know, everybody, all your skin folk is not always your kinfolk. I get that. We didn't get on the boats. The white man just ain't come over and just some people that look like us sold us to them. You get what I'm saying? So I get it. Accountability has to be on, and I understand that. But go ahead, Chat. Go ahead.
Blood is boiling.
No, I just was gonna say I want to be her friend, right? Like I really want to be her friend, because I'm like, you can't really believe all this stuff.
Like, what kind of Black people you know, sis?
Yeah, you know, it's like sometimes you look at people and you wonder how you grow up.
Yeah,
what kind of Black people you been around?
Me and you must be connected some type of way, because I don't know why I was just thinking about Candace Owens in my car this morning.
Hold on, let me tell you something.
And I was like, man, she gets on my nerves.
She irks me.
I feel sad for her.
She irks my soul. Tan, you got something to say? Because that is a sister.
Yeah.
And she ain't like she don't got the beautiful skin like my sister Janine has. You feel me? So she's more so, she's there. I don't know how to say it.
try not to be insensitive, but it's like
she's there.
It's hard to have empathy for people who don't see you through the eyes of Christ. Like if we're all made in God's image, but then I don't know if she's a Christian. I don't know nothing about. I don't really know about her. I try not to, because it's too triggering for me. I try not to, you know what I'm saying, engage too much. But Tans, say it again, sis.
She professes to be. And right. So the thing that I try to think of with a Candace Owens or a Candace Owens archetype, so somebody even like her, right, is am I upset because I disagree with her fundamentally, or am I upset because she seems to think that she is not me? You know what I'm saying? What's upsetting me? And if it's the thing, I'm trying to call myself on it. I don't want to be a person that can't process other people because we disagree with each other dramatically.
Yeah.
Right.
But if is that what's bothering me, or is it that you give off this thing that you are not connected, like you don't think you're me?
Yeah.
But let me answer Kayla's question right fast. Both. B-O-F.
B-O-F.
Both. Okay. Well, go ahead, Tan. Man.
With Candace Owens, it's like she'll be making some valid points, and then she just hit you in the face with a bag of doodle. I'm like, ma'am, you had me. So I say she remind me of that fly at the picnic where you buy the garbage can. You're not too close to the garbage can, but you buy it so because you can get those flies that be trying to get your food. She like one of those people. So and I liked what is that Kayla? Is that above?
Kayla.
She said, am I being triggered by this person because of their fundamentals, what they stand for, or because they're just completely disassociating themselves from us? So for me, oh man,
it's so layered. It's so layered.
Yeah, it's layered. And it's like, is there something, does she have a similar experience like is Yaya? Does she have a similar experience where she didn't fit in? She probably talked too proper.
That's real.
And, now her way of coping is disassociating herself. Or is she just trolling, trying to get into some kind of political arena, and she got to say what she needs to say so she could get into that door? It's like it's so many layers, and I don't want to completely throw her away, but I'm waiting on her to see some light too.
Janine, you got something to say, sis? And Janine, before you go, sissy, let me address one in the comments, because this is about colorism, Black girls, Black women. So it's like, okay, but we talking about a Candace Owens, a Black woman. So I can get it. I can get it, right? So I ain't gonna even trip on that. This is my thing. Just because somebody is Black does not always mean, or have the same skin tone as you, does not mean that their intention is always pure for the community. Once it starts triggering, once it starts dismantling the Black community and our train of thought, because you have a influence, because you have a following, and if your following, your influence is not to bridge the gap for us and what we are doing, you cannot play. You cannot downgrade somebody's experience as a Black person, yet saying that you're fighting for us when you can't even resonate with our experience. You are a hypocrite. And on this show, and on Unmute Yourself, and I always tell y'all, hold me accountable for whatever I say, whatever I do. Janine, that's real. What we're not going to do is lack accountability for people, because the difference between Yaya and a Candace Owens is Yaya went through her experience and she came to the light. The thing about Candace Owens, she had an experience, and Kayla, after Janine, maybe, I don't know if you know about it, but she had an experience. The NAACP took her side, and after that, she flipped on the whole community. So her story is different in that regard. But Janine, go ahead, sis, because you know how I get. Go ahead.
Go ahead on what, sis? Exactly.
I don't know. Go ahead. I don't. And
go ahead. Go ahead on what? Because if we're gonna go on Candace Owens, you guys already know there's gonna be a whole different production right now, because Candace didn't get the memo. She's one of the women that didn't get it. Unfortunately, we sent it out, we prioritized it, we emailed, text. She just didn't get it. So we're not gonna talk about her, because I do believe like Yaya, like you were saying about Yaya, there are people that naturally are curious. They want to know, okay, why should I support this? There are a lot of people like Yaya. I believe if we dig deep enough, once upon a time, we had our own Yaya moments, where we question like what we support, like, is this really me? Like before, like I said, before you became your becoming, you had to go through some phases. Your girl was out here in the street skateboarding. Somebody had to tell me, come on now. Like, I had to fall a couple of times to realize, now this not for me. Now, I'm not gonna say Black women shouldn't skateboard. Me personally, I'm too tall and too big to be falling like this. So I decided not to do it. So we all had our Yaya moments. We all went through it. I used to listen to rock once upon a time. Disney Channel was my jam. I vibed with it. So before the whole rap and then transitioning, we all had our becoming. But to stay in the old mindset, to stay in a mindset that don't bring up the Black community, only divide it and bring it down. I feel like Candace, she do it for the division. And we staying on her name is only gonna divide us more. Instead of staying on her name, she's kind of like, what is that little demonic spirit? Once you say their name, it appear.
You talk about
Candyman.
Candyman.
The Candyman.
Yeah,
So that's what
in the
Candace
dark.
became.
Candace.
Her name is Candace. Okay, there you go.
Does she ever go by Candy?
There you go. There you go. So she might appear. So we gotta stop. We gotta
Wow.
cut it. We gotta cut it. And I feel like the best way to educate Candace is for us, the Black community, to mute her, because more that we have outrageous, we get on Twitter, we're trending her, we're giving her money in her pocket. Once we start ignoring her, once we start she wants us to troll her. She wants us to do that. Yeah, once we mute her, once we really mute her and really unmute the community, get it? You saw what I did there? Unmute the community on more important topics, then we can really move forward. But Candace, honey, gotta go.
I agree.
I want it to be clear. Okay, you can go. I just want everybody that coming in. I want this to be really, really clear, because I'm telling you right now, and the people that really know me, they'll tell you I back up everything that I say. And I stand on it, right, wrong, or indifferent. It's a difference from a Yaya and a Candace. I want to make that very evident, because we're talking about colorism. And the thing is, I don't want the Black women and Black girls to feel as though you have to lower yourself to be accepted by anybody. You stand on what you believe on, and you be fair through it all. But go ahead, Kayla.
I'm sorry, I don't want to take up time. I don't know when y'all are trying to go, but
go ahead, girl, go ahead.
And I also do not want to harp on Candace Owens, but even like I was mentioning, a Candace archetype, right? So like somebody who, and I don't know the situation that you're referencing, whatever with NAACP. I don't follow her, so I really do not know.
She got raped. Like, I think it was like a situation where I think some white men supposedly had raped her. And she called, and it was like a story that was getting ignored. And so the end of it, they came to her defense, and she won that case. But after that,
she flipped. Well, and that's unfortunate. That whole thing is unfortunate. One thing I do want to, and I guess this is a question that I have. Do we think that there is only like one acceptable outcome of a becoming moment? So like if Yaya, her becoming moment, the result was that now she understands the value of Black Lives Matter. Now she understands the value of her vote. Now she understands these things, right? And that's acceptable. And that's what most of us prefer. That feels like the thing that's closest to, culture and community. If there is a person that has a moment and their result is not as perfectly in line with what we prefer, is there space for that? And I'm not talking about Candace. I know that's an extreme case, but in general, is there room for somebody's outcome of their becoming moment to be a little less than center, and we not still and we still embrace them, or you know what I'm saying, give them room? Just so I'm asking.
Chat, you can. I know you rose your hand, sis. Go ahead.
Well, it wasn't for exactly Kayla's question, so we can just come back to me and then answer Kayla's question.
All right.
I do. Are you basic? In other words, are you asking, is there another way that you can reach people like me before I actually get to my moment, their moment on their own?
No, I'm not talking about the before. I'm actually like specifically talking about after. Like once something has happened, and they mentioned for Candace, maybe it was that trauma that happened to her. And the result was, not that she felt closer to the Black community, but she felt like she wanted to distance herself. And that's an extreme case, okay? But like for somebody else that would go through something, if their result is a lot less than center with what we think is in line with culture and community, is there room still for us to embrace them? Or do we have to see what we prefer, I guess is what I'm saying, in the outcome of somebody's experience, for it to be valid to us, for them to be accepted by us? And this is just something I'm asking. And again, I'm not talking about Candace.
Yeah, no. Go. Yaya, did you want to answer, or Tan, you want to answer?
I say we just continue to love them, because we don't just. I think I put it in the same perspective with all identity problems, because everyone's dealing with some sort of identity problem, and in this particular case, I feel like we can handle it the same way. Still love on them, agree to disagree, not try to go back and forth, and let them know that, like, hey, I may disagree with how you feel, but that doesn't stop how I love you or the fact that I love you.
Yeah.
And then, trusting in God to, because this is still an identity issue all in all.
Yeah.
So we have to trust God with that problem and do our part, which is love. And the informational stuff is helpful, because even if we're still putting out stuff like this, they may watch it and those are seeds that's dropped that it may not catch right there. But when it comes a month or a year from now, they're going to remember it, like, man, I remember they said this and it makes sense. It's all coming in full circle now. And then shoot, they might we may be their comfort zone, or whoever it may be. They might go back to that person like, hey, a year ago you said this, but now I'm in this place, or that's what comes to my mind.
I agree.
Such a good Christian woman.
Love covers a multitude of sin. That's what the Bible says.
Yes.
So
That's it. That's
gotta
it.
cover them.
Agreed.
That's it.
Chat, go ahead, sis. They better Christians than me. Go ahead, chat. Christians than me.
You would hug Candace if you saw her on the street, sis?
No, I give her. I might. I ain't gonna lie. I might.
We said hug, not punch.
No, I won't do that. But I'm telling you right now, hug. I might. I don't know. I might. I will have to have a. Yeah, I would have to have a heart-to-heart conversation with her. You know what I'm saying? And then I just go about my way and disagree. But but that's just how y'all know. That's just how I am. That's just how I build. If I feel as though you have a secret agenda and it's not pure, I don't rock with you. You get what I'm saying? Like, period. And so I won't, like, you know what I'm saying, like, tear her down. And if it seems like that, y'all, it's not. It's like a aggravating family member. You don't like them, but you gotta love them. So, because Jesus said love. He ain't say you gotta like. So let's be clear. He said love. He didn't say like. And so.
And those are just practical steps. Like, we all are on our own little journey.
Right. Journeys.
I may know what to do, but when it comes down to it, if I'm not in that mental place, then most likely I won't do nothing.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. So we all talk a good game. I mean, not saying that to anybody, but it's different when you're in that space. Because I was just thinking, like, man, if she was being beat up on the street like that little 9-year-old girl by them cops,
I'd be pissed
what
off.
would we? Right, we would. But then how would we respond? How would we respond if she turned her back on us, like she seemingly did with the NAACP? It's like it's difficult to keep that same energy when the person is so disloyal. I think seemingly disloyal.
That's point taken though.
Oh, hold on, Janine.
Somebody was
Go
saying.
ahead, Kayla. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I was gonna say Yaya's point is well taken, because our love and our empathy, I guess that's what I was getting at my question. Our love and our empathy can't be predicated on whether or not we see what we prefer in other Black people. It is frustrating and it does make us feel away, but our love and empathy can't be shifty like that. It'd be great if it wasn't. That's what I'm getting.
Right.
Janine says, before you go, says, chat, what would you about to say? Sis, I don't want you to lose your train of thought. What was you about to say?
Oh, I wasn't gonna lose my train of thought. I was just gonna talk about, like, Candace Owens and her switch, right? Because she did have that thing with the NAACP. So actually, her switch was political. So she used to be this real big Democrat. She used to go hard for the Democrats, all this type of stuff. And she reached out, to the Democratic Party for some kind of stuff. This is just from what I read, right? Because I didn't even know who she was until, like, November. Because I was like, who the hell is Candace Owens?
Yeah.
So once I started doing my research, I saw, she started noticing, like, the Democrats were shady. I'm not trying to turn this into a political platform. So she started noticing that the Democrats really wasn't for Black people, right? And so she flipped and she started, messing with the Republicans. And then she turned, like, super extremist over time because of how Black people were responding to her for putting down the Democrats. So that's where this whole extremist thing came from.
Got you. Janine, go ahead, sis. Bruh, unmute yourself, bruh, literally.
She said it. She said it.
She said not. And London, to answer your points is, and but that has always been in our DNA as Black people. No matter how we get treated, no matter who turn on us, no matter how sometimes the perception of some Black men, how they view us at times, you know, and the separation and the tension. And I cannot wait till Saturday, y'all, to have this conversation. Because my Black brothers, they feel some type of way too, but that is a whole, like I said, it's not no one segment conversation. But our empathy, no matter what, when one of us get murdered unjustly, Black women are always on the front line, period. And so, and to be honest with you, if something injustice was supposed to happen to Candace, to be honest with you, we'll still be out there. We'll be rolling our eyes, we're like, but we'll still be out there, right, trying to get justice for it. That's just built in our DNA. And sometimes I don't know if that's unhealthy loyalty or if that's showing the love of Christ. You know, I don't know. It's different. I don't know.
I think it's a concept of we can mess with our own, but don't you do it.
Got you.
That's definitely,
that's a good thing.
It's so nuanced. Yeah.
I like that. But I hope you guys are enjoying this, because we're about to wrap it up with our final question. And we just gonna go row by row. Even you, London, if you got something quick to say, sis, you go for it too. Kayla, I'm gonna start with you, sis. Our final question is this: how can we destroy the brown paper bag theory that has now become our reality?
I think for me, it goes back to what we were mentioning earlier. Make it a point to be like hyper vigilant, hyper aware of your own intention and how you're processing the situations that you're looking at, how you're processing your own interactions with other Black people, and figure out a system for yourself, because it's not first instinct to educate. It's not first instinct normally to love or to be empathetic. Figure out a system for yourself of how that can become your nature, to educate first, to be empathetic first, to love first. And I know that sounds real good, but it is practical, because if it wasn't, the Lord wouldn't have told us to do so. That's it.
London Case, you got something real quick, sis, to say?
No, ma'am. I'll let the guests go for it tonight.
All right. Janine says, what's your thoughts, sis? How can we destroy the brown paper bag theory that has now become our reality?
Simple. Educate yourself on who you are and whose you are. Find out where it's coming from. Why you must, bring down one to validate yourself. And two, let's have honest conversations like this, like I stated earlier in the live. Honest conversations like this open up the doors for us to really get deep into what is going on. The brown paper bag theory has been here for years. A whole sorority is founded on that, so it's not something that we can go and change, with one Unmute Yourself episode. But with a plethora of Unmute Yourself episode, with us in the community being active and actually having these conversations at work, and when they are brought up to our attention, we address it right away. It will help. Brown paper bag has been, before you was even born, before I was even born, but we can change it. Just because something is here for a long time, that doesn't mean that we cannot change it. We can change it by educating ourselves, loving on one another. You in songs, the first, what was that lady again?
Danny Lay. Yeah.
Yeah, just
and
throwing
I do have
that
something to say now. Yeah.
And there was this one teacher I had, and it's so funny how the people that impact you the most are the ones you forget their names. But one day I was so mad, like, yo, like, I'm upset about another person calling me black. And then she said, why does that bother you so much? And I was just like, why are they calling me black? Like, that's not my name. My mama gave me a name for a reason. That's not my name. And then she said to me, and I'll never forget, she said, so they call you black because there's nothing about you they can tease you on. And the way you interact or the way you act when they call you black, they're like, oh, this is triggering for her. Okay, we're gonna keep going. So I say this to you people.
That was a powerful.
Dark-skinned women, light-skinned women, you know, this will become like a curse word for you because they might not have anything to call you but a black woman or a mutt, because everything about you is great. Everything about you is great, and they might not have another title for. And when they come at you with that, you just think, find another thing that don't hurt me. Think of something else, and when you do, holler at me, because
Right.
I'm proud to be black. You get what I'm saying?
Period.
And I feel like us addressing who we are and not just like my sister, you know, it's time for the black team to win. No. There's room in the table, like I stated earlier, for all of us. Let's all win together. Let's all compliment melanin, because it's one word. Melanin. It's not light melanin or dark melanin. It's melanin. Let us compliment each other. And from there on, having this conversation, and I cannot say in 10 years this whole brown paper bag theory will be over with, but I can say in our heart, as this generation, we could be like, yo, I made an impact in my generation, and I empowered you guys, and I'm good for that. And I feel like that's all that's all I want to live for as a black woman in my season, and me becoming who I am. I feel like that's it. Like, I'm good with that.
That's good, sis.
Yeah.
Tans, what about you, sis?
I agree with Janine. That self-education is, before we can go around telling everybody what they need to do, it starts with self first. Because I, even with me taking pride in my name, it started from when I was in elementary school and we had to do a history project, and I chose my name. And that's how I was able to take pride in who I was, because my name would get teased and people would purposely mispronounce it. So once I learned the history of my name, I'm like, you're not about to tease me about my name no more. So I absolutely agree with Janine. Once you know yourself, and I love when you said that, even though it took you during the Trump administration to learn your native languages, learning who you are gives you that pride, but not like a haughty pride. It gives you that ability to withstand anything. And then it also gives you the tools to be able to properly educate people, or to be able to properly love people, or to be able to properly bring people in and get them to understand your side and then be able to understand their side. So with that self-education is absolutely key, because how can you be able to withstand anything, any insult? How can you be able to even tell people what is right and what is wrong when it comes to approaching you if you don't know yourself? So especially with the Black American, we don't know ourselves. We don't know enough about ourselves. And if we do, it's based upon the European standards. So if we could just block out and mute out the European standards and really get to understand who we are, like Janine said, the paper bag theory is not going to go away overnight, but we could be able to be able to, in this generation, to be able to self-educate ourselves, be able to educate the people in our circle, so that they can educate, so we can educate our children, so it won't get passed on. We gotta find a way, the generation where it stops. Even though it's not going to happen overnight, we just got to find a generation where it stops. And I believe this generation, we waking up. We waking up, and we not blind, we not stupid, we not deaf. We seeing things for what it really is. So I think this generation, we are in prime time to be able to say the buck stops here. It might not be able to stop tonight, but I don't have kids, but if I do have kids, I don't want my kids to be worried about light skin versus dark skin. I don't want my kids to be worried about some stupid paper bag theory. I don't want my kids to be talking about this stuff. I want my kids to take over the world. So that self-education, it starts with us. We are in the prime. I don't want us to feel like we helpless. It's too big of a fight. It's a giant. David took down a Goliath with a stone. We could do this. We could do this in our generation.
I love that, sis. That Rosa Parks would be proud. You hear me? Chat says, what's your thoughts? How can we destroy the brown paper bag theory that has now become our reality?
Well, first we need to acknowledge that even the brown paper bag come in different shades.
Jill, let's go, sis.
Because I can go get a brown paper bag from Walmart, and the brown paper bag at Aldi can be darker than the ones at Walmart. So we gotta come up. Even the brown paper bags ain't even the same color.
Preach, sis.
And that's all I'm gonna say. I ain't got nothing
Y'all
else
bring
to
your
say after
own
that.
brown paper bag to the table. Bring your own brown paper bag. Yes.
No, you're hard enough for my sister for that one. If that is no bar, that's a whole bar for
Dr. My like, boom.
whole bar. Yeah. Your statement is, Chav, I knew you were just gonna say a bar. I would little fuck you, sis. Yeah.
Yo, like she just blew a whole bomb up. Like,
how can we destroy the brown paper bag theory that has now become our reality?
I first gotta confess to y'all that I did not know what it was, and I had to look it up and see what it was, and it's obviously colorism. But I say doing what we're doing now, talking about it, bringing it up in topics, and being consistent with it. Like, let's not just talk about this once. Let's not just talk about stuff like this during Black History Month. Let's do it all throughout the year. And
it's coming, y'all. Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it can't just come from you. I'm just saying in general,
all of us.
All of us. And that's education to me. And yeah, y'all know where I stand. Love.
I ain't gonna lie to you, sis. I think you have made this conversation fully whole because anybody that watched this, whether it be 10 years from now or whatever, they can watch this and say they can identify with each and every last one of us in some way or form. You know what I'm saying? And so for you to come on here, sis, and I know you was nervous and stuff and everything, but you did an amazing job, sis. And we salute you as your sisters. So we are proud of you. London, you said you got
last. I wasn't gonna say nothing. Go ahead, y'all.
I actually add one more thing. Because I was thinking about it, and when I said love, I gotta add that we right now we can leave here focusing on loving them. But in order for us to know how to love them, we gotta learn how to love ourselves. And so love in general, we gotta learn how to love ourselves so we can love our neighbor. And focus on that first. Like if you're struggling with anything, focus on you, and that will automatically help cultivate the people around you. So
like that. The praise I gave you was like communion juice, sis. You
came back for more. Let's go. Put the battery in the back right there. I'm gonna give a small little just PSA to the artists and the creatives that we talked about Danny Lee at the beginning, and just remember that your platform matters. Your responsibility as a creative, what you put out into the world, people are consuming it. People are being affected and impacted by what you put out. And so when I think about the Danny Lee thing, I don't even listen to her music, but it's impacted so many people, and it makes me want to highlight the artists that are saying things that are positive, that are doing things that are uplifting to everybody, right? You think about the India Aries, people like that don't get the Grammys and all. I mean, she has Grammys, obviously, but things like that, certain kinds of people don't get the praise that they deserve for being positive and being loving and being, spreading that message of positivity and even being godly and stuff. So when I think about, the brown skin girl song by Beyonce, and I don't even listen to Beyonce, but that song is a positive message. in addition to the young lady who was on earlier, Mahogany Jones. Y'all look for her music. She wrote a song called Melanin, and that's again back to the brown paper bag comment that chat made. All colors, melanin, period. Light, there is no light melanin or dark melanin. We are all one. I am you and you are me. I am my sister's keeper. So just to the creatives, remember what you're putting out. You do have a responsibility, and people are listening and consuming what you put out. So please be cognizant of that.
And y'all, little sister about to close it out with a benediction. That's what I'm about to do. I'm gonna say this as a platform, because God has been gracious enough to me to have a team and to have a platform like this. And I'm gonna say with a beautiful team. I don't get nowhere without them. And they come in all shades, all different cultures. Okay, Janine is a part of that team. London, Jasmine, my sister that was commenting on here. My sister is part Jamaican and everything like that. Light skinned, beautiful person, all that good stuff. You know, our sister Leslie. I mean, just everything. Okay, like sis got beautiful. All of us are beautiful in our own right. But I will say this: whenever you do something out of spite, you will never get glory out of it. And so when it comes down to Danny Lee and her song, because of that, because you had some type of spite in that song, you wasn't going to get the reaction that you thought you was going to get. It's always going to backfire when you're doing something out of spite. And so with that being said, I also want us to be clear too, and because I don't want nobody to be no puppet. I'm big on not being no puppet. When it comes down to our sister that we may not agree with, it's nothing wrong with holding somebody accountable, you know. And I'm happy that we were able to shift and I'm happy that London asked that question: what if something unjust happened to Candace? How will we respond? Because a lot of us, we would be like, child, whew, Lord, yes, I guess that's what our lives today, huh? You know what I'm saying? Like our response and our response have to be godly at all times. If you chose to follow Jesus Christ, and I try to hold myself accountable to this, we don't have a right to pick up when we want to be Christ-like and when we don't want to be Christ-like. Jesus did not just pray; he also was a God of justice. And so when we look at our sisters, because we're strictly talking about our sisters, there is a shift happening with our sisters of all shades coming together and representing one another and not being ashamed to encourage. And so it's a beautiful thing. If you go on my post or anybody else's post, especially my post, you're going to see sis, sissy poo, sissy, what's up, da, all through it, because that's what we have to change the conversation. So don't get upset when somebody call you a queen. Don't be like, call me by my name. It's better than the B word or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, take pride in people embracing our royalty, you know, again. And so call your sister a queen. Call your sister sis. Call her love, because that is what she is, because you never know what experience that she is going through. And as you can see, it doesn't matter if you dark skinned or light skinned. It's about all of us has experienced some type of colorism. Amen to that. Great addition. Okay. And look, y'all, also unmute yourself. Look, we're trying to do something for people in our community. Okay. So yes, you have to donate, cash out, unmute YS. Look, God said you haven't received nothing because you haven't asked. And I'm telling y'all right now, 50 cents to $1, it don't matter. Please just give whatever you can to unmute yourself. Amen. All right.
Amen. Send you $1 right now.
Y'all can drop $1. Stimulus coming too. But before we pray, Kayla, do you have any business, anything that you want to shout the people out, let them know how they can follow you?
Not yet, but feel free to like add me on Instagram, KBC, and Facebook. I like to educate. That's about all.
That's beautiful, sis. Janine is a part of the team, y'all. So y'all gonna be seeing her a lot more. But sis, you got anything you want to say about anything new you got coming up or anything? Janine, I know you hear me.
I hear you. I hear you, Sissy. So, just follow me, people. Just follow me at just Janine. The way you see my name is spelled on the screen. Just follow me there, and you'll see what's going on. You'll see what's popping.
That's what I'm about to see. I see her teeth. That's real, baby. All right. Sis, let the folks know how they can follow you. If you got anything coming up, go ahead and let them know.
Yeah, I got a panel discussion coming up next week on the 10th. I'm going to be attempting to, with two of my homies, attempting to shattering the myth of and misconceptions with sex and Christianity. So if y'all want to tune in, y'all can just go to Darielle's page and y'all see my African name, click it, and then follow me.
that part. Chat, Sissy, and I want y'all to know I met my sister Chat on Clubhouse. Okay, it was a great bond. But Chat, let them know, sis, how they can follow you. Anything you got going on.
They can follow me on Instagram at Diva D Monroe. Yep, it's spelled just the way it sounds, Diva D Monroe. I got a podcast. I'm about to start season 3. Sometime this week. Don't hold me to no date though. But yeah, the podcast is Expressions of a Black Girl Just Trying to Live, and you can find it on all streaming platforms. And on Clubhouse, if you're on Clubhouse, every Saturday morning at 9:30 Central, I have a room called "Are You Afraid of Your Power?" So y'all check that out.
Yaya, I love Yaya, man. Yaya, that's the folks. You got anything going on, man?
I be chilling in the club. Y'all can catch me at the club. No, for real, on Clubhouse. No, y'all can follow me at Yaya Right on Clubhouse. On Mondays, I be in a room I be in a club, and it's about, it's kind of like Unmute Yourself, but it's about getting uncomfortable and sharing like testimonies and breakthroughs and stuff like that. Those Mondays at noon.
Okay. Turn up for that. Hey y'all, everybody that's staying on, please stay on. Let us pray it out like always. God, we just thank you, God, for this beautiful conversation that we have with my sisters. I ask, Lord God, that you bless them individually, whatever they have going on. I pray that you bless them. I pray that you protect them. Give them more joy where there is sorrow. Give them a peace of mind where there's turmoil. So I ask that you watch over them. Even when we log off, Lord God, I pray for everybody that is watching, everybody that may catch it on a replay. I ask, Lord God, that something that was said can strike their heart. Something that was said, Lord God, can touch them in a different way. Let them know, Lord God, that you wasn't just a father that just prayed, Lord God, but you helped the people, that you had tough conversations and you wanted to heal them, man. And I just pray that Unmute Yourself continue to do that all this week and forevermore. And we just thank you for everything. Protect us in this pandemic. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Remember, y'all, stay positive, test negative. Love y'all.